Approaches in Music Education by Jenna DeSandro, Catherine Hubbard, Robbie Hicks, and Regina Riedling. The first approach that we will talk about is in this PowerPoint will be on the Orff-Schulwerk approach. This has been very implemental throughout the 21st century. The Orff-Schulwerk approach was created by Karl Orff in Germany, with Schulwerk literally meaning schoolwork in German. This is his theory on music education for all levels. In 1924, Orff and Dorothy Gunther founded the Gunther School for Gymnastics, Dance, and Music in Munich. From 1925 to the end of his life, Orff worked there as the head of the department. There is where he worked with the adult students and on his famous theories of music education. Karl Orff is also known for his compositions, including Carmina Burana. In the 1950s, Orff's colleague Gunhild Keetmann elaborated on his theory, focusing it more towards school children. The philosophy of Orff-Schulwerk is that children are taught to appreciate and enjoy music and the learning process. No student ever feels like they are put on the spot because everyone is always participating, even if it is through different forms of participation. This approach is mainly thought as an elemental framework because it is based off the basic natural world of child's play. Rhythm and language is also used as a way to expand on musical ideas. Four major ways that students learn in this approach are from imitation, expansion, exploration, and improvisation. When learning a song, most students will grasp the rhythm, text, and contour of the line by repetition and imitating the teacher. This imitation could also be called learning by rote. The next step would be to explore the style, emotion, and expression through movement. This doesn't need much instruction, just as the imitation portion of the lesson, because it is the student's perception of the tune. The third step is to apply instruments, including pitched instruments, unpitched percussion, and body percussion. The students are then encouraged to explore different timbres and soundscapes to find what pertains to the specific tune. The final step is for the student to be able to improvise over the song, poem, or percussion. This is usually done with an ostinato and the pentatonic scale. Rhythm is very structured in the Orff-Schulwerk approach. This is to ensure that the students understand and appreciate music to the fullest. As mentioned before, students normally start off by exploring movement. Does the music entice them to move their arms? Should the movement be more like a march or a flowing motion? Once that has been established, the teacher can then move on to finding where the basic pulse of the tune is. Because of speech, many students are already identifying the pulse while they're moving. After the pulse has been solidified, the class can then describe the pattern or beats and if there are any similarities between each line. After all of that, then they can begin learning what the note names are and how they are dictated. Teachers follow the same sequence with some adjustments. The first obviously being that they will be the facilitator instead of the participant. Teachers can see and assess how students interpret the tune that is given. There may be slight differences between each individual, but mainly there will be a uniform way of exploring the phrase. The students would just listen intently to just the teacher to grasp each detail of the tune. After a few repetitions, the students will begin to sing with the teacher. Creation would be the next step in the process. Students experiment with different instruments, songs, stories, and other combinations to create the soundscape that they think is appropriate. The final step would be to have the students improvise over an ostinato with the poem using the pentatonic scale. This is a great time in the lesson to assess the students to see if they fully understand the concepts that are being taught. This is also a great time to introduce and explore different patterns and rhythms. In conclusion, this approach is very structured, and each key point of the approach can be expanded into a full lesson. This approach also really encourages students to find their own path and truly enjoy the experience that music has to offer. In my opinion, that is the biggest goal of general music. Although not everyone will go on to being in some sort of ensemble, the students can leave the classroom having a great appreciation for music and the process of making music. There is no pressure of performance because it is always a collaboration with every student from the beginning. This also fosters creativity and imagination because the students are encouraged to explore different timbres and improvise on the instruments. Overall, I believe that this is a very strong approach to use for any age group. I definitely understand why it is used worldwide.